Not a bad brand. Yeah. Uncensored. Very, very racy tonight on the unpredictable. What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
It's a surprise.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
All right, welcome back to Late Edition. Let's just pick up where we left off, really, because aside from the reversal of the cancelling of the elections, it appears that the other big story is about Starmer wanting to clamp down a little bit on things like AI, chatbot, social media. There is something I think a little bit ridiculous, Christo, about how Starmer appears to want to ban 16 and 17-year-olds from drinking non-alcoholic beer just in case they like the taste of it. And then he's also saying that 16-year-olds might not be able to, or people under the age of 16 might not be able to, I don't know, kind of go online almost with social media and stuff. But then they can vote at 16. So where are they going to get a lot of their news from? Where are they going to get a lot of their info from?
Completely and utterly inconsistent, because you're right. He thinks the 16-year-olds are responsible enough to apparently vote. Well, if the elections take place, that is. I know, Ben, you're against those. But when it comes to actually having the autonomy to be responsible with social media, well, apparently they can't. Apparently the state needs to step in. Now, let me make it clear. If I was a parent, my children would not go anywhere near a smartphone in any meaningful way for many, many years. I would let them sort of know how to use one, but they would not have their own in any way, shape or form. But that's a parent's job. The problem is we have a state. What's frustrating is we do have a state that is encouraging parents to not be parents. And so we are going to end up with a situation that if the state doesn't step in and look at things like breakfasts for children, rather than trying to empower parents and give them a low enough tax burden that they make children breakfast, well, what we do is we say, well, children are going hungry, the state needs to step in. Soon the state's going to be probably toilet training them. Soon the state's going to be stepping in with all of this. So what we're doing is encouraging this getting worse.
But I think the dangers of social media on any mind, frankly, but on young minds, are very real.
I agree.
It warps people's sense of self. It warps their sense of identity.
I agree.
It plants, when they're seeing completely sort of, photoshopped, edited photos of everyone else, and it gives them the expectation to look like that. It causes real damage.
Is it the state's job, though? Is it the
yes,
or is it parents' job?
Because that's like saying, is it the state's job to stop someone handing
ban people with
ketamine
eyes
out to kids, right? Of course it is.
But I don't know whether
that's Green Party policy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's a fair equivalence to put ketamine in the same category as Instagram.
Well, I think they're both addictive and dangerous.
An
equivalent is that, in a generation or two ago, a 13-year-old might try their first cigarette. Now we wouldn't think that was remotely acceptable. And I think this is the similar sort of thing. We will reflect on letting kids have social media as a crazy experiment that did no health to those kids.
Why can't the parents be in control of that?
Why can't the parents stop that like they do with cigarettes and alcohol?
Well, that's prime point, because clearly, parents would struggle to do that. I think the fact is, at home, when all the friends have it.
Okay, so state-mandated bedtime for kids. Parents find it very difficult.
It's very hard. Kids do, but my friends' parents let us go to bed a bit later.
Yeah, very difficult.
You know what, Ben?
Very difficult to mandate that.
I'm actually soiling myself as we speak, because the state hasn't told me to go to the toilet.
Well, I've been wondering for an hour what the smell was.
Yeah, I did wonder.
But no, that's where we're at now.
No, not at all.
Because children are going to school not being toilet trained. And what next now? A teacher's going to have to do that.
know that this has developmental damage on young minds.
We do know.
By them constantly scrolling it. And this is also one of the problems, actually. Any of us that are journalists or politicians or policymakers, none of us grew up with this social media. But we're seeing in the levels of anxiety, the lack of focus, the lack of proper learning as opposed to just reading, that is damaging a generation of young people.
I don't question that. I do question whose job it is to put a stop to that.
That's the key bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well done, Pat.
All right, mate.
Well done.
Brilliant. Well, let's round off by actually showing you what is on all of tomorrow's newspaper front pages. The Metro obviously is on your screens right now. PM's about to stop the bots. There's things like chatbots, etc., that he's looking to clamp down on. The Daily Mirror's front page is "Save Our Next Generation." A grieving mum welcomed a change in the law on social media giants, but urged PM Keir Starmer to act now to protect our children. The I paper: Farage forces elections U-turn, triggering next threat to Starmer leadership. And there you go. Really, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? Is it going to be a threat to his leadership? The Independent. Another Starmer U-turn as local poll delays abandoned. The Daily Mail: Starmer forced to face the wrath of voters. Sorry, I've just developed hiccups, so apologies about that. Yeah, we need the state to intervene.
The state gave you hiccups.
Right, I'm going to try and get through this. The Guardian: anger as Prime Minister abandons plans to delay May elections. The Telegraph: Starmer U-turns on cancelled elections. The Times: Starmer's plans to delay elections abandoned. The Daily Express: PM secretly plotting to lock us back in with the EU. The Sun: line of duty H-bomb. It says something to do with line of duty. And there you go. So there we go. Right. Thank you very much to our wonderful panel. Thank you to you who've watched and listened. And I'll be back again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Up next is The Late Show Live, hosted by the one and the only Ben Leo, who has got a heck of a lot to go at this evening. Ben, over to you.
Patrick, thank you. I'm still recovering from what Christo just said and going to the toilet. Goodness me, I can't get it out of my head. Anyway, big debate tonight on whether dogs should be banned from New York City. Some Muslims in New York are now suggesting dogs are so filthy they should be banned from the city. We're going to get stuck into that shortly. And also, I've got a thing or two to say about Ed Davey in just a minute. Are the Lib Dems the most pointless political party in Great Britain right now? I'll see you in a sec.
There's only 2 weeks remaining to see how you could win a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash. Plus, we could be sorting out your summer with an incredible holiday for two worth £10,000, courtesy of Riviera Travel. You'll get to choose from 47 tours in over 30 worldwide destinations. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access to 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 27th of February. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Dan with the Great and the Nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen.
In Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love news.com/your say. That's
DC, this is GB News with the story shaping.
Maybe GB News can say something.
Communities. It's a huge sum of money. So running in the first instance, but you know, we are where we are.
I mean, look, Keir Starmer, as we all know, was head of the CPS, head of public prosecutions. He prizes himself on being a very articulate and astute lawyer who is across the detail. But it seems, especially with this isolated case and maybe the 14 other U-turns he's done, that he and his government don't really.
Well, because they listen to the evidence, they listen to people, and they make changes. You can have that, or you can have.
Should they not listen to the evidence in the first place before making decisions?
Well, sometimes the evidence comes to light after the initial decision is made. You don't always have all the information straight away. And frankly, 15 U-turns, if it is 15, are nowhere near the amount of U-turns undertaken by Rishi Sunak or Boris Johnson, which were in the tens, if not early hundreds. So look, all governments make U-turns. All government make changes. It's if they listen to the evidence and to the people, that surely is a good thing and is
about the Tories and Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak and all that lot. They are old news. We know how bad they were. But can you give us an example of a U-turn from Rishi Sunak? You've just mentioned it.
You've certainly, at this time in the morning, Ben, you've certainly caught me off guard there.
15 U-turns is unprecedented for a government that's been in power for what? Government thus far, even for Labour voters.
The changes in recent weeks have sort of, as I've mentioned, plenty of time to turn this around.
Thank you, appreciate that. Star. Okay. Auxilia comiera qui.
Mm.